What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
I am Iron Man.
You are a toy!
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Server Anakin! I have the high ground!
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Welcome back to the Big Movie Bois podcast, the only podcast that will entertain your kids and cause you to have an existential crisis. I'm your host, Jeremy Bauman, and with me as always is Bob Liebel.
What's up, Big Movie Boys? I'm very excited for this episode. Very excited for 2021. We are off to a raucous start so far this year.
And Ben Stitch.
How's it going, guys? So I just watched the final episode of Jeopardy. Bob, you claim to be the bigger Jeopardy fan than I am. You already told me you didn't watch it. I'm a little disappointed with you. I just want to let you guys know they did like this little 3-minute tribute at the end of like all of his just a bunch of mashups. And it was pretty sad. It was pretty cool. And besides like just having nobodies on as like the three people, it was a pretty cool ending. Just kind of obviously sad. Like he's clearly weak, and obviously we all know like he's passed away. It's just so it's sad, but it was cool to watch the last one on TV as it was happening. So Bob, are you upset you did not watch it?
So I actually am a part of another podcast called the Big Jeopardy Boys, and I am distraught that I missed this episode. I watch Jeopardy all the time, and I fucking was watching it. I watched it all week, and then it was yesterday, and they didn't have an episode yesterday, right, Ben?
I do not know. Did not watch yesterday. I watched today.
Anyways, they were missing an episode on Thursday, and I was like, "Oh fuck! Like, what's going on?" So I googled it.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, Alex Trebek's
You're
last
right,
episode is Alex Trebek's last episode is Friday, and I was just like, okay, got to make sure I watch that. Turns out I was watching The Waterboy that I recorded on Hulu Live TV, so I missed Jeopardy because I was watching Adam Sandler's The Waterboy. I'm very upset. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Out loud.
Hey, The Waterboy. I was watching it like a few nights ago, and I had to turn off the TV and Hulu. Actually, we talk all the shit in the world about Hulu on this podcast.
I'm prepared to turn off my TV.
Hold on, I'm gonna defend Hulu for a second. They told me right when I tried to turn the TV off, they go, "Hey, do you want to record this and finish watching it later?" I go, "Oh, I actually wouldn't mind doing that." So I hit record, and then today I queued it up on Freeform, so I still had all the advertisements. It was like a regular TV broadcast. I just picked up midway. It was almost like DVR, but I missed Alex Trebek's last episode of Jeopardy because I was watching The Waterboy. And when you say it out loud like that, it doesn't sound great. But I'm going to go back and watch it eventually. I don't know. I'm sad that I missed it. I really am.
Jeremy, I'm just assuming you missed it then too.
Yes, I currently under strict COVID protocol restrictions. I was activated for this podcast, luckily, but unfortunately was not able to watch the final episode of Jeopardy. I do plan on going back and catching it at some point, though. I did see that they were planning on having that little tribute as well.
Now, is there any sort of did they mention anything about, like, obviously, like, we've heard that Ken Jennings is going to be like the interim host, and they're going to try out like guest hosts for a while. Did they mention any of that on the episode?
No, they didn't make any mention of that. Just kind of did the in loving memory of Alex Trebek, and it was kind of like the episode was kind of not this like super close contest or whatever. Like it wasn't like a great episode or anything, and they didn't mention anything about that. But it was just cool to see the last one. I've said, like I probably watch like one a week maybe, but unlike you guys saying you would go back and watch it, I probably wouldn't go back and watch it. Like,
it wasn't an eventful. I mean,
no, not
cool.
even. It was cool just to see, but like I'm not like a huge Jeopardy fan where like I would go back and watch it. It was just happened to be my parents had it on. I'm like, oh shit, that's right, it's his last one. Let me go watch it. So I'm glad I happened to just even hear that. But I almost snapped it to you, Bob, because I figured you would. But I thought you'd be watching, so I was like,
no, I'm literally so pissed off that I missed it. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm excited or nervous for the next phase of Jeopardy because, like, in all honesty, you said you probably watch like one episode a week. I try to watch it every night at 7:30. Like when it comes on, I'm like, let me put it on. Like if I'm near a TV and there's nothing else that is preoccupying
because there's nothing
my time
on at 7:30.
Exactly,
really.
But like it's awesome. Like who doesn't love watching Jeopardy and pretending to be like super smart, like
and being like, oh
yeah,
I knew that.
I was going to ask you, Ben, how many questions did you get right?
So that's funny. Like we always do that watching with the family. So all four of us were watching it, and it became a heated battle between my dad and my brother. We ended up, my brother probably got more, but we were going to give my dad the money and give him the answer. And let me get this straight. Like, they get more than half wrong. So in theory, they're both in the negatives, and I'm always in the negatives. But it's always fun to pretend after the answer's like already said, and you can just be like, oh, I knew that. And then you give it to yourself.
Yeah. The question is, Ben, how many did you, oh, I knew that one. How many questions did you know
Oh,
after
at least
you read the answer?
at least 5, especially in the first round where you're like, oh, I knew that one.
Do you know what
I probably got like 5, and then I knew 5 for sure.
My favorite response is, if that was a multiple choice question, I got it.
I don't even think of it like that. Wow, I should, going forward, I'm going to do that. If it was multiple choice, I'd be way smarter at that game.
I feel very strongly that if Jeopardy was all multiple choice, I would be Ken Jennings. I'm a great multiple choice guy.
You got C's in high school.
Yeah, C.
All those
degrees,
exams
baby.
were multiple choice, Bob. Well, you guys are talking a lot about this game show, and that got me thinking. You know, last week we had the Bimbos, technically the first episode of 2021, but it didn't really feel like it to me. I don't know about you guys, but since we were looking back, to me, this one feels more like the first episode of 2021.
I agree. I totally
agree. Yeah, the last one was just a big recap.
It just happened to fall on 2021.
It was a celebration.
Well, while we consider this the first unofficial episode of 2021, we decided that we should start the podcast in the new year with a tried and true favorite, and that is Big Movie Bois Presents Who is the Biggest Movie Boi Challenge.
A little different going forward, though, this year, right, Jeremy?
It will have a little different look to it, and today is going to be one of those examples. So in moving forward with the Big Movie Bois Presents Who is the Biggest Movie Boi Challenge, occasionally we will be doing what we're calling the Duel Edition, and today will be one of those days. Essentially what that means is sometimes when we make these challenges, whoever ends up, creating them by virtue of having to do all the research can't really compete fairly.
Spoiler alert, it's always Jeremy.
I tried to be nice, but yeah, it's me every time. So when that happens, the way we're going to do it is it's going to be a 1v1 duel instead of the 3-way battle royale that we typically do. So in today's instance, it's going to be Ben versus Bob, and the next time we do a Who is the Biggest Movie Boi Challenge Duel Edition, I will compete against the loser from today's event.
He'll be competing against Ben.
You wish, man. Bob, say your line now, because it's the last time you're going to get to say it.
I'm going to start 2021 off with a bang. I guarantee victory.
Oh, man, I can't wait till you have to watch some shitty movie this week.
If you're new to the podcast or you simply don't remember, the stakes remain the same regardless of the challenge. Whoever wins is crowned Biggest Movie Boi, and whoever loses will have to watch a punishment movie and report back on it next week. The theme for today's challenge, which you two will be competing in, is stage names. There's a lot of famous actors out there going by a lot of names. Not all of them are what is shown on their birth certificate. So the way this is going to work is that I've got 20 actors and actresses listed in front of me, and I'm going to read you their government name. You simply have to tell me what name they go by when they are acting, what name we know them as.
Sounds easy, but I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, this sounds easy off the top, and then I'm thinking right now, I'm like, I feel like I only know musicians. This is going to be tough for actors.
Like, what's going to blow my mind when someone is like, Tom Hanks' real name isn't Tom Hanks. Like, that's the one that's going to throw me for a loop. In my mind, every actor's stage name is their birth name, but I mean, we're about to be proven very, very wrong, I have a feeling.
So the way it'll work is that who won the last challenge? Was it you, Ben?
Me, I won.
I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure I won.
I'm pretty sure
it was the
lost.
dad competition, and I won that one.
All right,
yeah,
so
you did win that one. Yeah.
Ben is currently crowned Biggest Movie Boi. So for the first actor or actress, Ben, you will have the first go at guessing. If you get it wrong, Bob will have the opportunity to steal, and we'll alternate with every new actor. The only other caveat is that for the first 10 actors, I'm simply going to read you a name. You tell us what their stage name is. for the second half, the second 10, I will be providing you guys with a pool of 30 potential actors and actresses. The first 10 are a little bit easier. I think you might be able to guess them. The last 10, bit trickier. I figured I'd at least give you a 1 in 30 shot of randomly guessing. Do we all understand the rules? Are we ready to compete in the first Big Movie Bois Presents Who is the Biggest Movie Boy Challenge Duel Edition?
Ready to rumble, baby.
I'm ready. This could be low scoring, though.
Hopefully, this is the one thing we do that isn't a tie, because I have no tiebreaker ready to go.
Oh, Bob loves a good tie.
Tiebreaker goes to the oldest boy.
Shit.
All right, our first actor, actually an actress for the first round. Ben, you will have first dibs. If you're wrong, Bob, you have the opportunity to steal. The name is Elizabeth Stamatina Fey.
Tina Fey. Lock it in.
That is correct. Ben, you're 1 for 1.
That was easy as fuck.
I'll tell you, they start easy, they only get harder.
I can't wait for me to have the hardest one coming up next.
Bob, you have the first go at the next one, another actress. Government name is Emily Stone.
Wait, what?
Let me steal.
Is it Emma Stone?
Bob, you are correct.
Is that even Jeremy? That's not. That's just a nickname.
Different.
I don't think that's
different.
different.
Emily is different than Emma.
I guess, but okay. Thank you for the fucking lob on that one.
I honestly thought your pause was meaning you were gonna stumble and not get it.
I almost did, because I'm just like, wait, I have to be overthinking this. There's no way that's not Emma Stone. Like,
You guys, I like the confidence. I'm telling you, it's unearned. They are going to get more difficult.
you're fucking with my mind right now, dude. I don't know if I should be like happy or sad, confident or unconfident. I'll just keep it going.
All right, you guys are doing well so far. I promise they get harder. Ben, you have the first go at Christopher Catesby Harrington.
Well, they got hard real quick for me. Christopher Catesby Harrington. Can you use it in a sentence?
Christopher Catesby Harrington is the government name of a popular actor.
Fuck. Bob, you're going to have a chance to steal. I do not know this at all.
Christopher Harrington. Well, I assume Chris is probably the actual birth name. So I'm going to say it's one of the big Chris's. So it's either probably Evans, Pratt, or Nolan, who isn't an actor. I'm going to go with Christopher Pratt.
Neither of you got it. That is the real name of Kit Harington from Game of Thrones.
Don't even know who that is.
Jon Snow. Shit. That's a good one, Jeff.
The last name didn't change.
Thought it was the first name was going to stay.
Yeah, I thought Chris was... Yeah, I was thinking how Bob was thinking, that Chris would be the name. And then when he said Chris Evans, I was like, shit, is that it?
All right.
Damn.
It only took 3, and already we're stumbling. Bob, you got the first go at the next one. This actress's name is Winona Laura Horowitz.
Winona Ryder.
That is correct.
I wish I would have went second. This is bullshit.
Yeah. Winona's not a name that is going to be made up. I feel like that's one that's got to carry over.
Your logic is on point. I would advise you not to continue using that logic in the later rounds.
I will use it heavily in the later rounds.
Ben, you have the first go at our next actor, Jonah Feldstein.
Jonah Hill, because I know that one for sure.
That is correct. You guys are
Dude,
tied.
I did. Okay.
2-2.
I did not know that Jonah Hill's name wasn't Jonah Hill. This is very
Yeah,
interesting.
because his sister's last name, she still goes by the last name, Feldstein. So that's why I knew that one.
Guys, should we come up with stage names?
You use your real name? Bob's your real name?
How do you know we don't?
Oh my god, I can't even comprehend what's going on right now.
You ever seen my birth certificate?
I've never seen your birth certificate, Jeremy. Oh my god, that's a good point.
All right. I keep
2-2,
forgetting
baby.
who goes next. I
Yeah,
should have numbered
2-2.
these.
Bob's up. Bob's up.
2-2, and I'm up. It's about to be 3-2. Me.
All right, Bob, here you go. This person's real name, Olivia Cockburn.
Olivia Cockburn.
Wonder why
Cockburn
she changed
is-
her name.
Olivia.
Bob,
it's
let's give you
Olivia.
enough time to look it up.
I don't know. I'm not even. I don't know anybody named fucking Olivia. Liv. It's probably Liv. Liv. I don't know. Is Liv Ryan somebody? I don't. Who's Liv? I don't know. Elizabeth Moss. I don't know.
That is incorrect. Ben, you have a chance to steal.
I'm pretty sure this has been in the news heavily lately, and she's now dating Harry Styles. I will go with Olivia Wilde.
Well, that's news to me. I didn't know that, but yes, that is Olivia Wilde.
Yes.
Ah,
You didn't see that?
No.
Bob, you knew that.
I don't know who Olivia Wilde is.
Jason Sudeikis' ex-wife.
Okay.
Okay.
Ben only knows her by proxy of who she's dating or married to, apparently.
She was the director of Booksmart.
That is correct.
Another point?
Unfortunately, no points for that. However, you can earn a point if you tell me the stage name for Natalie Hirschlag.
The only Natalie I know, I'm going to go with Natalie Portman.
You would be correct.
Yes, Bob, you're getting your ass whooped in this game.
That was an easy one.
A 2-point swing. Bob, you can get a point here. This person's birth name is Jennifer Lynn Anastasakis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Jennifer Lawrence.
That is incorrect.
I'm going to take this lead. Jennifer Aniston. Lock it in.
Ben, you are correct. You have earned 5 points thus far.
Well, I give up. Oh, this is fucking bullshit.
I thought this was going to be close.
I liked Bob's tactic of I said the first and middle name, and he locked in his answer, didn't even wait for the last name. That's what
No,
the
Her
clue
last
was.
name was basically Aniston with an extra opolis or whatever it was.
Is there a way for you to make back like a large amount of points in the end?
Yeah, you just got to get him right.
This game is flawed.
What question are we on? It's my turn. I know that.
We are on our 9th question, penultimate of the first round here.
Last easy one.
This actor's real name is Thomas Mapother IV.
Is this, could this be Bob's Tom Hanks there?
Is this Tom Hanks, man?
Can you give me the name again?
Thomas Mapother, it's Mapother, the fourth.
I'm just going to go with that show we like. I don't think it's Tom Hanks. I'm going with Tom Middleditch from Middleditch and Schwartz.
A good guess, but that is incorrect. Bob, you have an opportunity to make up a point here.
Okay, so it's Tom. I feel like it's not Tom Hanks, but I'm going to go off of my theory that it is clearly the first name stays. Can you read the last name one more time?
Fuck, can I change my answer? Shit.
Last name is Mapother, the fourth, by the way.
Mapother.
There were 3 Thomas Mapothers before him.
Dude, I don't fucking know. Tom? I'm going to go with a famous Tom. I was thinking Tom Hardy, but I'm going to go with Tom Cruise because I feel like that's got to be the big one.
Absolutely not. Jared, I know I don't get the point, but my new guess would be Tom Holland.
Bob is correct. It is Tom Cruise.
Get the fuck out of town!
No! Oh my god, how did he get that?
Tom Cruise's name isn't Tom Cruise?
Apparently.
Well, I knew it. That kind of makes sense to me that it's not Cruise, but what it actually is fucking not true. Jeremy made that up. Scientology made that up.
The fourth?
Yep. There were 3 Tom Cruises before him.
Shit, I can't believe Bob got that one.
Jeremy's going with big names here. That's what I had to guess.
Bob, 10th person, final of the first round before you will have a pool of actors to choose from.
Huge.
This person's name is Lawrence Ziegler.
Lawrence Fishburne.
That is incorrect. Ben, you have an opportunity to steal.
You were quick with that. I'm like, oh, Bob knows this one. Can you give me the name again?
Lawrence Ziegler.
Thinking it's somehow a Larry? Lawrence, I don't. Lawrence Fishburne would have been my only guess too for that name. Larry. I'll just go with Larry David, even though I don't think that's right.
That is incorrect. I'm going to let you guys each guess one more time if Bob doesn't get it right. Wouldn't call this guy an actor necessarily. Think more broadly in entertainment.
Lawrence what?
Ziegler.
Ziegler. Lawrence Ziegler. Dude, I have literally no idea.
All right, is that your other guess, Bob? Because I had my second guess.
Lawrence Ziegler. So, can you give me a hint? Is the first name still Lawrence?
He gave the hint.
I did.
What was it?
He's not necessarily an actor. You got to think more broadly in entertainment. Not a musician, though.
You said Larry David?
Yeah.
It's not a musician?
Not a musician. Still in like the TV movie world, but not necessarily an actor.
Thinking it's not a musician. For
Ziegler.
some reason, I thought Ice Cube for some reason. I was just like, actor, musician.
That's a good guess. I would use it.
I have no idea, dude. I don't know. I have no answer. Jennifer Lawrence.
It is not Jennifer Lawrence. Ben.
I already gave away my answer by basically saying his last name when I meant to say hint. But my only other, I'm only thinking Larry, and I'm just thinking famous Larrys, and I'm just going with Larry King.
Larry King is the famous Larry.
You looked that up. There's no
I
fucking
didn't. Bob,
way you knew
when
that.
When I said Jeremy gave a hint already, I said Jeremy gave a hint because I said King almost. Oh my God! Thank God you didn't catch that. That's big.
That's bullshit.
All right, we are halfway through. We got through our first 10 actors and actresses. The current score is Ben with 6 points, Bob with 3 points.
That's embarrassing, Bob.
Yikes.
Unfortunately for you, Ben, we all know how Bob is a king when it comes to multiple choice, and boy, does he have multiple choices to choose from in the second half here. All right, moving on to our second half here. You guys had the list in front of you. Number 11, our first one in the second half here. Ben, you have first dibs. The real name is Alan Stewart Konigsberg.
All right, so my first plan is to go through the Allens. There's only one. My only answer is Alan Rickman. Lock it in.
That is incorrect.
That was a red herring, Jared. Oh, that's fucking bullshit.
There are plenty of red herrings in this list.
I'm going to go with Woody Allen.
Bob, you're proving it. We made fun of you, but give that man a few choices. He will find the right one.
Oh, baby. You're in for trouble, Ben.
Son of a bitch.
Woody Allen. That is correct.
What was his name again? What's his name?
Alan Stewart Konigsberg.
Damn it, I wish Bob would have went first because he definitely would have said Alan Rickman and I would have said Woody Allen. Or Tim Allen, I guess I might have said.
All right. Bob, you got first dibs at Margaret Hyra.
Margaret Hyra. That's a woman. That is a woman. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Margaret Hyra. Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan is correct.
Are you kidding? Oh my God, how is he getting these?
Just look at the name. Look at the names. Meg's the only thing that's...
There's a Maggie and a Margot. I thought you would guess them before Meg Ryan.
Wait, where do you see Maggie and Margot?
Oh,
Margot
the same
Robbie.
list that you're looking at.
Oh, buddy, I looked right at the bottom. Bottom to top. That's the secret to multiple choice. Bottom to top.
Shit.
Bob giving away his strategy here. Ben, you've got first dibs at Julie Smith. Pretty plain name. Could see why you would want to go by something a little...
I don't like this anymore because Bob is catching up. Julie Smith. I'm only thinking Julia Roberts, Julianne Moore, even though you have Juliana Moore. Is that right?
Yeah, that is supposed to be Julianne Moore, not her sister Juliana Moore.
Julie Smith. But is Julia Roberts enough from Smith to make it even worth it? Oh man, I hate this part. I'm just gonna go with I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Always go with your first answer. That's what I tell myself. Julia Roberts. Lock it in.
That is incorrect.
Son of a bitch.
Bob, you can steal.
What's the name? Julie Smith?
Julie Smith.
Okay, so I see Maggie Smith, who I don't know who that is. That's a similar last name.
Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter.
Maggie short for Julie?
It's long for Julie.
Fuck, I don't know. Julia Roberts is what Ben guessed.
You could guess it too. Maybe I lied to him.
I'm going to go with Maggie Smith. I'm just going to throw a bone out there.
Maggie Smith is incorrect. This was actually
Thank God.
Julianne Moore.
Ah, shit. I would have gotten it if Jeremy didn't have the wrong name up there.
You guys fell for the red herrings. What can I tell you? You got to be smarter than the list. Bob, first dibs at the next one. This person's real name is Tara Patrick.
Tara Patrick.
Multiple Patricks on here.
My first thing was probably Neil Patrick Harris, but that's obviously not a. This is a woman. Marlon Brando, Julia Roberts, Tim Allen, Viola Davis, Jamie Lee Curtis. Who's Eric Bana? Jamie Foxx.
Guess him.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go one down from my last guess because I literally have no fucking idea. I guess Maggie Smith last one. I'm going to go Carmen Electra.
Bob, you got it right.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Bob's cheating. Bob's looking these up.
I am not looking these up, Ben. How can I look them up?
How are you so good at this shit?
I don't know, dude. I just have pure luck. Holy fuck.
Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra. I don't even know who Carmen Electra is.
Who's Carmen Electra? Do you know her as Tara Patrick? Is that the confusion?
No, I don't know who either of those people are.
Are we tied up now? God
what
damn
is
it.
What is Carmen Electra from? I don't know who that is.
I think she's in like Scary Movie 4 or something. She's like famous in the 90s.
If you saw her, you'd know who she is.
Damn, no, I actually have no idea who Carmen Electra is.
Bob, you just looked her up on Google, so just look at that picture.
I'm about to tweet at Carmen Electra. Thank you.
If you look at the Google search you just did for Tara Patrick and go to images, you'll be able to figure out who she is.
You'll be good.
I swear to the fucking Christ, I did not look that up.
All right, well, it was enough to tie it up, and we got 6 left to go. Ben, you have first dibs at Eric Marlon Bishop.
I know this one, so get it wrong, Ben.
All right, well, it's not. I feel like you put Eric Bana on here just so someone would guess it.
Just guess.
Oh my God. I got to just go with Marlon Brando.
Ooh, it's almost like I put that one on there so that someone would guess it. Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
Damn, if it's Eric Bana, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Bob,
well,
who is it?
This is unfortunate because I was going to guess Marlon Brando. I guess I have to go with Eric Bana then.
You said you knew this, Bob.
I thought it was Marlon Brando, Ben. I thought I did know it.
You guys don't even understand how far off you are.
Oh, who is it then?
Eric Marlon Bishop is more commonly known by the name Jamie Foxx.
Oh my God.
That's just asinine.
Well,
That's not even fucking
definitely
close
don't
to it.
guess Marlon Brando again because he just put that one on here to fuck us with that one.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
I was very confident that it was Marlon Brando.
The list works in mysterious ways. Bob, let's see if you can be a little more confident in this next one. The name is Ramon Gerard Estevez.
Is Emilio Estevez on the list?
He is.
Ramon Gerard Estevez. Hold on. I feel like Jeremy's trying to trick us. So I would immediately jump to Emilio Estevez. So Ramon. Let me see if there's anything that resembles a Ramon on the list. There's really not. Ramon Gerard Estevez?
That's his name, don't wear it out.
Why do I feel like that's not? It's definitely not Emilio Estevez. Ramon Gerard Estevez.
Do you want more time to look it up, Bob? Is your internet shaky over there?
I'm just going to go Emilio Estevez because I don't fucking know.
Bob, you are correct in thinking that is incorrect.
Yeah.
It's funny because I know Emilio Estevez's name is just Emilio Estevez, which helps me in this question because his father is also on this list who goes by the name Martin Sheen. Jeremy, lock it in and give me that point.
That is correct, Ben. I thought that might be one that one of you guys knew or would be able to piece it together.
I know my Mighty Ducks, Jeremy. Don't mess with my Mighty Ducks.
Thought it was possible. All right, Ben, you got first dibs on the name Reginald Dwight.
Ooh, that makes me want to guess Rainn Wilson because of Dwight, but I don't think they would do that. Reginald Dwight. Reginald. I think it's Reggie. Is there a Reggie on this list? No, there's not. Bob, do you know this one?
Reginald Dwight? No, I don't know Reginald Dwight.
All right. Reginald Dwight. All right. I'm guessing this is like an old name. and it's making me think I'm in between Robert Redford and Elton John. And I don't think that helps Bob. If Bob wants to take my second wrong answer, that's fine. I'm going to go with Reginald. I'm going to go with Elton John. Lock it in.
I don't know how you got there, but you got it, Ben.
That's a good
yeah.
Google. That's a good Google right there.
That's a British name, Bob, and I was able to pick it up.
That's a brilliant Google right there. Also, Elton John is a musician.
He's acted.
He's been in something.
Bob, you are now 2 points behind. We got 3 guesses left. You've got first dibs at 2 of them.
Okay.
Your next name to decipher is Maurice Micklewhite.
Maurice Micklewhite. For the love of fucking God, dude. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? Maurice. There's no Micklewhites on the list. There's no Maurices on the list.
And at this point, if it was,
Why do I feel like that's Mark Wahlberg's name for some reason?
That's what I was if you weren't going to guess it, I was.
Mark Wahlberg, William. This also could be Marlon Brando. I don't know. Maurice Micklewhite.
Why are these names more? That sounds like an alright stage name. I would have just stuck with it.
Maurice Micklewhite's pretty badass, but I'd say I'm between Marlon Brando, maybe Michael Caine. I don't know. Maurice Micklewhite. Alan Rickman also seems kind of like he would be a Maurice Micklewhite. He kind of carries that about him.
He looks like a Maurice.
I'm between Alan Rickman, maybe Michael Caine, Michael Maurice. Are there any Michaels on this list? Give me Michael Caine.
Caine.
Wait. Oh, wait. Were you about to tell the answer? No, give me Michael Caine. I'm going to stick with it.
I was saying Michael Caine's name the way Michael Caine says his name, which is the way you say my cocaine.
Yeah, okay, give me that then.
My cocaine is correct.
That's some bullshit, Jeff. You wouldn't have said Michael Caine. You would have gotten it wrong.
I was going to switch it. I was going to fucking switch it to Alan Rickman. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. That keeps things interesting.
What is Alan Rickman's name?
Fuck it. His name's Alan Rickman for sure.
We'll find out.
I can't believe.
Maybe we'll find out.
Man. Oh, man. I was hoping I would just wrap it up. I wasn't going to guess Michael Caine, but.
All right. We got
2 left, and I'm up by 1.
That is correct. So, am I doing the math right? Ben, you can seal the deal here?
I can win it here. Yeah, and we could also end in a tie, which I would love.
Ben, you got first dibs at Karen Elaine Johnson.
That makes me think it's a woman.
Good guess.
All right. Obviously, I'm leaning towards Carrie Fisher with the Carrie. Is that too obvious, though? Is Carrie Fisher the red herring? Oh, my God. It's not Don Johnson, I wouldn't guess. Oh, my God. This is the toughest thing I've ever had to do.
I didn't know who I'm guessing if you get it right or wrong.
That's why I'm not even... I don't think it's Julia Roberts again. Can you give me the name again one more time, Jerry? I already forgot it. Karen
Elaine Johnson.
Oh, I would hate to be wrong with Carrie Fisher, but I feel like that's a red herring. But then again, oh my God, please cut all of this. I might be 10 more minutes. Should I go crazy and say Whoopi Goldberg? That would be wild. All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna say Carrie Fisher because I would be bummed if it ended up being Carrie Fisher.
How bummed are you gonna be when that's incorrect?
Not as bummed as I would have been if it was correct and I said someone else.
Bob, you can tie it with a steal.
Ben said who I was going to say because I have no idea who it was. I was going to go with the first name on the list of Whoopi Goldberg, which I don't believe is correct, but I told you I was going to guess it regardless because I have no fucking clue. I thought you were going to get that right. I'm going to go the first name on the list, Whoopi Goldberg, for the fuck of it. Why not?
Whoopi Goldberg is correct.
No, the fuck it's not!
Whoopi Goldberg's
God damn it!
Government name is Karen Elaine Johnson.
God damn it.
Where do you get Whoopi from?
Where do you get
tell ya.
Goldberg from? What the?
That's made up. Oh my fucking god! Wow, Ben, that's unfortunate for you, buddy.
I am bummed out.
I
Dude.
went for the comedy answer, and I got it.
Unfortunate for me too, because we are currently tied. But we do have one name left on the list. Bob, you do have first dibs.
All right, let me hear it, baby.
I don't know. This is one that maybe you guys know, but if
It's
you
better not.
but if you don't know, then you still got what, 21 names to guess from here?
Let's go. Let's get it.
This actor signs their checks with the name Mark Sinclair.
Oh my god, Jeremy, you fuck! I know who this is. It's Vin Diesel. I know this one. It's Vin Diesel.
Shit. Oh my god.
It's Vin Diesel. It is Vin Diesel, Ben. It's Vin Diesel.
I knew that one too.
It's Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel's real name is Mark Sinclair.
Let's fucking go!
Bob, you are the biggest movie boy. The final scores 9-8.
I choked. I was up 6-3 and I choked. I let it slip
Wow.
through my fingertips.
Wow. Well, you know
Oh
what?
my God.
Oh my fucking god! Let's go. Props to Whoopi Goldberg. I really, for the love of God,
That one's a real bummer.
that was a complete shot in the dark. That's an honest to Christ. Jesus is my Lord. Shot in the dark. Wow. I knew Mark. As soon as you said that, Jeremy, when you talked about, like, I don't know, dude. I looked that one up a while ago. Like, literally, like, 2 years
15
ago.
minutes ago when Jeremy
No.
said, hey, the final answer is going to be Vin Diesel.
No, dude.
Wow, Bob, an absolute upset. The Vegas odds did not have you even coming remotely close to winning this one. I'll let you know that.
Especially the live odds when I was up 6-3.
Hey, they call me the comeback kid, and I guaranteed victory.
And
That's right.
unlike all the other times before that, you actually followed through on that one, which is even more impressive. Ben, unfortunately,
Oh my god, I got to pick some shitty movie now.
you got to pick a movie. I redid the list today. There are 12 movies on the list. Go ahead, give me a number 1 through 12, and we will figure out what movie you'll be reviewing for us next week.
I will go with number 2.
Number 2 is a new one. This is the Mulan remake on Disney Plus from last year.
Is that one $30 still? Because I won't pay for it.
No, it is not. It is now just on Disney Plus.
That's fair. You know what?
Hey, Ben, if you want, you can pay me $30, and I'll let you watch the movie.
That sounds fair. Ah, shit. I can't believe I lost on that.
But you're excited to watch Mulan, right?
Oh, yeah. So
Hey,
excited.
hey, Ben, I heard it was really good.
What is this runtime? 2020 is 2 hours. Oh my god, that's gonna suck. I'm unemployed and that's gonna suck.
They have the extended version on Disney Plus. It's 4.5 hours. You should watch that one.
All right, well, we've got that to look forward to next week. I know I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, we're going to review a different movie. We are going to do our first official review of 2021. That will be of Soul. Soul was released on December 25th, 2020, exclusively to Disney Plus after getting postponed from its original June 19th release date. This movie was written by Pete Docter, Mike Jones, and Kemp Powers, as well as being directed by Pete Docter and Kemp Powers.
Yeah, just real quick, Jared, before you finish off this, some great names right there, right? I saw when the movie ended, I was like, wow, those are some great names. While we're on the
names.
topic of stage names.
They might be real legal names as far as I know. They didn't come up in my list, but if you're familiar with Pete Docter's name, then it might be because he wrote Toy Story 1 and 2, Monsters, Inc., WALL-E, Up, Inside Out. He also directed all of those movies except for Toy Story 1 and 2. So clearly big guy around Pixar. The other two seem to have worked at some capacity on a lot of Pixar movies, but didn't have quite the credentials that Pete Docter has. This movie's stars Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey, both of who don't go by their legal names, as we just learned.
Would you look at that?
This is a relatively new movie. Obviously, it just came out about 2 weeks ago, so I think we should keep it spoiler free, at least at the beginning here. So, per usual, I'll just ask you guys what your expectations were going in, and then your general thoughts having seen it. Ben, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I was a little later to this party than you guys were. I think you watched it before me, both of you guys. And I had a little higher expectations based off your guys' review and based off just what I was hearing. But I think this movie met my expectations. It was really good. I don't know, like we could talk later about like ranking it in Pixar movies, but it was really good. It was like you never really saw what was coming next. And I think in some movies, even in like animation movies where they can kind of take it wherever they want, you can kind of predict where it's going to go. But this movie, I had no idea where it was going to go, but I never felt like that it went in a weird and way too far off direction. And I enjoyed the ride the entire time. I thought it was really well done. And it was it was super inspirational. Jeremy, you made that joke at the beginning of the pod, just like that if you want to watch a kids movie and also have like a existential crisis at the same time, it kind of is that. Like you kind of start thinking about your own life, but I don't know. Overall, like when you finish the movie and let it sit with you for like a couple hours, like I think you come away inspired more so than like thinking maybe this is because we're still younger and not like 60 years old, but I think you still come away like more inspired than you are like regretful about your life. But that's what I thought about this movie, just without spoilers or anything.
What about you, Bob?
Yeah, for me, I remember, like being in theaters a very long time ago, and I saw a trail, like a teaser trailer for this, and I was just like, "Oh, a new Pixar movie. That'll probably be entertaining." Like, I don't know. It's kind of cool. From the teaser trailer, you could tell that it was like about music a little bit. So I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting." Like, and it just kind of like got swept under the rug for me. I was just like, "Oh, whatever." And then like everything happened, and this movie didn't come out, and COVID and everything. And then it came to Disney Plus, and I was just kind of like, "Oh, like I remember that. Like that looked like it might have been good, Like, so I had no expectations going into this. I saw it on Disney Plus. I remembered seeing the trailer and being mildly intrigued, and then I threw this on and I watched it, and I was just like, "Holy fuck!" Like that was a good movie. Like I genuinely enjoyed this thing top to bottom. I came into it with like I wouldn't even call it low expectations. I would call it no expectations. I just came into it just expecting to watch a movie, and then I left it really, really liking this movie. And honestly, it's probably one of my top movies of 2020, and it's honestly it's contending for the title of top movie of 2020 for me. I really liked this, and I didn't expect to like it. It was a complete surprise and shock to me, and I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. It was great.
Yeah, I think I somehow missed almost all of the advertising for this movie. I'm not sure that I ever saw a full trailer for it. So I would say I also went in with no expectations outside of it just being a Pixar movie and their, batting average being pretty damn high. But yeah, I was just like, obviously it's beautiful. Like the animation is ridiculous. Pixar's been the pioneers of 3D animation since its inception, so you would kind of expect it to be that beautiful, but it still kind of blows me away every time I see it. And there's kind of two worlds in this movie. There's like the Soul world, and then there's New York City, which are obviously very different looking, but I really liked both of them, and I felt like there's a good balance between those two worlds. But yeah, then just like as far as like the themes of it, I was watching it and I'm like, would kids even like this? Like if we were 10 years old or younger, do you think that you would enjoy this movie at all? Because I'm watching it having an existential crisis. I mean, there's a scene where like a stockbroker has this moment of clarity, realizes he's wasting his life, and starts throwing a bunch of computers around. I'm like, are kids getting anything out of this? Do they just like the look of the little soul characters or anything like that?
I think that's it, Jared. I think the little kids probably like the Soul world, and then how like Pixar movies always are like they're for kids, but like the adults get something out of it. I think the scenes that we're supposed to get out of it, we get out of it. The stockbroker scene that you mentioned, how you mentioned having an existential crisis, but like I think the little kid aspect is like the like the jokes about being in the Soul world and like the body swap humor. Like I think that's for kids, but
Yeah.
the actual core meaning of this movie and like the themes about the existential crisis and like who we are as human beings, that's for the adults, which is now us. and I felt every fucking second of that. It really tugs at your heartstrings. It makes you think about yourself, and you take a good hard look in the mirror after watching this movie, and you might not you might not like what you see.
But I like to go off that, Bob. Like I totally agree with that because I think the best Pixar movies are when they're basically made for adults and like kids
Exactly.
can grow up with them and finally understand what
Yeah,
it meant. Like
absolutely.
how like toys, like how Jeremy, you love Toy Story. I feel like that's a great movie. Like that adults loved too, like earlier, like in the '90s, and then like kids grow up with it, and it's now a classic. And like movies like Nemo, like Finding Nemo, like I think this one will like live on because of that, because adults can watch it, and so like when their kids are like, oh, can we watch Soul like for the 10th time? They're not going to be like, oh my god, I don't want to watch that again. They're going to put on Soul because they're like, oh, whatever, that was actually a pretty good movie. So I think that's how movies like this live on.
Think about this though. So say like you're a young kid, like maybe you're like 8 or 9 years old, and you watch Soul, and you look at it a certain way. Like this is how I feel. Like if I go back and watch like a movie like Finding Nemo, it like I liked it as a kid, but if I watch it as an adult, there's so many new things that I pick up on. I feel like Soul is like that in the same sense that like little kids will like it because it's funny or whatever, and it's
like
got
the
cool
bright
animation.
colors and yeah,
Exactly. But like when they watch it when they're like, say they watch it when they're like 9 years old, and they wait a couple of years and they watch it when they're like 17 or 18 years old, they'll be like, oh shit, like I don't remember this, like, you know, like it'll just totally hit differently. Like, and I feel like all Pixar movies are like that, but this one for some reason, maybe just because I have recency bias, it just feels like all those aspects of Pixar movies are dialed up to like 11. I don't know.
I was watching a video by Drew Gooden, who's if you're not familiar, very, very big YouTube creator. And I'm pretty sure he's only a couple of years older than we are. And he made a point about how he and us being basically the same age have always been like Pixar's target audience. So when Toy Story came out, we were like, oh yeah, I like playing with toys. This is fun. I like this. Toy Story 3 comes out, and it's about like outgrowing your childhood, as we're, you know, late into high school, outgrowing our childhood. Right. And then I would go a step further and say now we're watching Soul, watching this guy reflect on his life, thinking we could die in an instant, and if I did die today, would I feel fulfilled? And I'm like, holy shit, Pixar. I want to go back to the talking toys because you're making me think about way too much right now, and I don't know if I like it. That's not a criticism of the movie. That's a criticism of me.
Of yourself. Yeah.
No, and I totally agree. Like, if you're watching this movie and those themes are hitting you over the head, obviously, and if you don't have like a oh shit moment while watching this movie, and even if it's not while you're watching the movie, after you watch the movie, if you don't get hit with that oh shit moment, then I don't think the movie did its job. But the movie did do its fucking job because I got hit with that oh shit moment, and damn, dude, it's sobering. It honestly is sobering. It makes you think about like what you're doing with your life, honestly.
And I bet you were hammered when you watched it, so that means a lot coming from you.
It didn't help. I almost put the bottle down when I was watching this movie, but
I guess the only other thing I'll say, just while we're spoiler free, is that this was like, it felt at times like a weird crossover between like Pixar and Black Mirror. Did you guys feel that way at all?
As a person who's watched, you know, a lot of Black Mirror episodes, I didn't get that. But now that you say that, I kind of get where you're coming from, because it's like this whole new world that is just built, and you're just like thrown into it, and you kind of just have to go along with it. But to me, it's not menacing, so I don't get the whole Black Mirror effect like you did. But I get where you're coming from.
I mean, it's not like doomsday of like you know, every Black Mirror episode, but like the way the Soul world feels like this super like sterile kind of like Apple designed sort of world or whatever.
Yeah.
There were just like parts of that. And there's like a lot of themes in Black Mirror about like consciousness and stuff like that too, so.
I didn't see Black Mirror.
All right, well that's your homework for next week. You can watch a couple episodes of Black Mirror. But do you guys just want to open the floodgates to spoilers? That way we can just kind of have an open discussion here. Would you recommend it to anyone who's waiting to hear our opinions on that?
I would absolutely recommend this movie. If I don't know, like I just feel like we're starved for content right now. I mean, it's 2021, and like we're actually not starved for content. I feel like between the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, there is stuff maybe not right now, but there's stuff coming out in the near future, and I feel like this is something that could be swept under the rug, and you might have been someone like me where you saw the previews in theaters a long time ago, and like maybe you were watching ESPN the past couple of weeks, and you saw that little logo in the bottom right corner where they're advertising it on Disney Plus. If you haven't checked this movie out and you've heard of it, or you know somebody that's seen it and they've recommended it, regardless, if you know of this movie and you have Disney Plus, I would call it a must watch. It honest to God is a must watch, just because even I think you could amp the expectations up to like 100 and you would still enjoy this movie. Like, it's just a good movie. It just makes you I wouldn't say it makes you feel good, but like it makes you think. There are scenes that make you happy. It's a good Pixar movie.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we're like saying that it's like an existential crisis movie. It is, but it also is, like, in the end, like,
there's feel
more,
good moments, right?
Yeah, it's more so just telling you to like appreciate your life more and like the little aspects of your life. Which, so like, you're gonna feel good after most of it. Like, you might have a part in the middle where you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?" But like a couple weeks ago, we reviewed Wonder Woman 1984, which came out the same day. And I think that was the first and only time that we ever said that all three of us unanimously said that we wouldn't recommend it. And this is complete opposite. Like, I would recommend this to basically anyone. I think normally we try to recommend it to a certain audience of people, like, if you're like this, or if you like this, you'll like it. Even Bob, you saying if you like Pixar movies, but I don't know.
This is for everybody.
I would be like, I feel like it would be tough to like watch this movie and come away saying that movie sucked. Like, I don't think anyone could say that movie sucked. So I think this movie's like literally for everyone. And I would 100% watch this. Like, and I know going forward, I will watch this again. This will be like one that I will try to watch like every couple of years, because it like kind of reinforces some like good values, and just like make sure, like, if you're in like a funk almost, like, watch this movie and feel better about yourself overall.
Yeah.
Jared, what is your last non-spoiler bit?
I agree. I think Pixar's target audience, they cast a really wide net. I don't know anyone who wouldn't get something out of this movie. I would absolutely recommend it. And considering it's free, as long as you pay for Disney Plus, I think you're a fool not to check it out. But with that said, we'll just open it up. Full spoilers. If you don't want to get spoiled, pause the podcast, go watch the movie, come back. We'll be here waiting for you. But I don't know, are there any particular scenes that stuck out to you guys as being particularly good or bad?
Should we talk about our favorite scenes to start it off?
Sure.
My favorite scene, and it was when he got back in his body, and he went and he did the jazz show with the female jazz musician that played the saxophone, and he finally did that show, and like the way that was animated, it looked so fucking cool. Like the sweat, like the movement, like the instruments, everything about that.
That saxophone looks photorealistic.
Yeah, it was odd because like they had cartoon like characteristics, but like it was so realistic looking with the sweat and the way you described the saxophone. Like it looked so fucking real. But the part I liked the most about that is when it was all said and done, and like he got his big break, right? Like this is what he's been working his whole life for. It's always been about, you know, the big gig for him. You know, he finally got the big gig with the big jazz group that he's been looking for. And they're out in front of the jazz club, and he goes to the
Dorothea Williams.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know her name. I couldn't think of it at least. He goes to Dorothea Williams, and he's just like, "So what's next?" And she's like, "Are we coming back again next week?" And he's just kind of like, oh, "That was it. Like I've been waiting my whole life for this, and it's just as simple as that." I loved that scene because it didn't really sum it up, but it just made you think. Like he thought that jazz was his entire life, and he finally got that moment he's been waiting his whole life for, and it wasn't what he was expecting. And it almost makes you think maybe that isn't what he was put on this earth to do, is play jazz, but it's just something he likes. Yeah, it wasn't his spark. I mean, actually, I feel like it is his spark, but you could see the thought cross his mind when she's just like, "Yeah, we come back again next week. What do you mean?" And he's just like, "I thought that is my spark. I thought this was my moment." And it's just like, okay, like maybe it's, you know, that's what I liked the most. I really liked that. It almost is like your perceptions and what you expect out of your life. If you finally achieve it, sometimes it might not actually be it. And like I think going forward, that is going to be I mean, I think that is his spark. I think jazz is his spark, but I like the way they kind of act like it might not have been. And he thought for a second that it might not have been when they were out in front of the jazz club. I don't know if you guys felt the same way about that scene, but that's what I got out of it.
I like that scene a lot because I think it perfectly illustrates the thing that they say shortly before that, which is that your spark isn't your purpose necessarily.
Yeah.
And they explicitly say that not too long before that scene, but then you get to see what that means. They double down and they kind of show you exactly what that means, and I think that's
Right.
that's what that scene does very well.
Yeah, no, I agree with that scene. It's like obviously it's the climactic part of the movie, and it like sobers you up to the movie. But I don't know if I have a favorite scene. I like the parts where he's like introduced to Tina Fey's character 22, and like she's making all these jokes. She obviously doesn't want to go down there. I love the little Knicks joke, like when she's talking about getting people out of the zone.
Hysterical. That was hysterical.
I loved that part. She had some funny lines, and I just love their interactions. And when she like first goes into his body, then and he's the cat, I'm like in a different movie. I'm like I would be just totally turned off by this. I'd be like, what's the fuck's going on? But like I was like, okay, I'm actually into this, and it was like pretty funny trying to see like when Joe Gardner's the cat and he's bringing back the piece of pizza. And he passes by the rat. I thought that was like a stupid part, was funny. But I guess just like watching him try to convince Tina Fey's character, like to try to find something that she's passionate about, and just the stupid jokes with all the former mentors she's had, like all the famous people like Abraham Lincoln.
God, those were great.
Every single one of those was like funny and made me laugh. And I'm just like, I not that I like was coming in thinking this movie won't be funny or like expecting anything, but I just thought like that part was so. Yeah, I thought it was like actually funny. Like I didn't think they were stupid jokes. I thought they were just little jokes that worked. And
those weren't kids' jokes.
No,
those were real deal.
Yeah, and
yeah,
like,
those are funny.
Those are the type of jokes that like a family watching this together, like the parents will laugh, and then the kids will laugh trying to keep up, like pretend like they know what was going on. It's like a sweet little moment.
I know who Abraham Lincoln is.
You just described Bob watching it with Liz, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly, but I just like those little moments. I honestly didn't know anyone in this movie until like I was like, oh, that sounds like Jamie Foxx, and then I looked up the cast. I was like, oh yeah, Tina Fey, and then I was like, I really enjoyed those two together. Like, who would have thought Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey would have been like this good pairing? And I loved all their interactions together.
It's funny that I just happened to watch Django Unchained. Like I watched the second half of that movie earlier in the day, and then I watched Soul. I'm like, slightly different role.
Yeah, you could say.
I think my favorite scene, maybe arguably, is the barbershop scene.
Oh, yeah, I love that scene
where Tina Fey's taking over. I forget the main character's name. You just said it. Joe Gardner. Joe Gardner's body, and he's kind of hopeless, out of control in the body of the cat. But Tina Fey is able to just kind of go with the flow, not held down by previous existence of Joe Gardner, and ends up having all these like meaningful conversations with everyone in there, and Joe Gardner gets to witness the whole thing and kind of see the life he's missed out on living. I thought that was a very powerful scene.
My favorite part about that scene, Jeremy, is when the barber, the guy that was cutting his hair, was walking him out, and they were just like kind of having their like final their like closing greetings, and he's just like, yeah, I mean, we just always talk about jazz. Like, I didn't know that you like not even like he just said like almost in a negative tone. He's like, yeah, we always talk about jazz. Like that's all you ever talk about. Like I just kind of talk to you about it because I know a little bit about it. And he was like truly happy to talk to him about something else. And he's like, I didn't know you were that smart or something. And obviously he's sitting there in the cat body and he's just like, oh wow, like yeah, like I must
like
be.
That's the first turning point of the movie, because it's like the first time he realizes, geez, all of my life is jazz. What else is there in life? And that's like why he has that existential crisis. But then and then obviously in the end he realizes there's obviously more to life. But that scene is cool. I also love the animation in that movie. I forget, is the barber's name Curly, or I don't even know. But
I think it's Curly.
And I love that character. It just made me want to be in that barbershop. All those people were funny, and they even had like, because Tina Fey as Joe Gardner takes like the sucker, and then like she's spitting all this like deep thought, like deep shit, and then the one guy's like, Yeah, and I think the guy's like, I'll have one of those or whatever, like thinking the sucker's like giving like an edible or something.
Yeah, I like that joke. Are there any? Obviously, we're very positive on the movie, but no movie is perfect. Did you guys have any critiques or criticisms that you thought were worthy of sharing?
Critiques
Yeah,
of the movie?
I have one. It's more like a nitpick.
I don't have any, if I'm being honest. I know Ben sounds like he might have one, but I don't think I had any critiques of the movie. I really don't. Yeah, I'm curious to see what Ben,
No,
what do you
like,
have?
I love the animation. It's more like a nitpick. It's just like,
Okay.
you know how they don't know where Jerry is. Terry or Jerry, they don't know where Joe is, and then that Terry guy is
Terry's
trying
great.
to find him. Terry's funny. I think that guy, that stupid character's funny. I don't even know what to call him. But my question is,
did you recognize the voice? Maybe Bob might have.
I
Terry?
didn't know. Who was it?
It's Jeff Goldblum's right-hand woman from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
She's
no,
in
I didn't even recognize it.
Taika Waititi's other movie, Hunt for the Wilder People, as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but I think Rachel House, I think her name is, right?
Yeah,
and
that sounds right.
but watching, I was just like, how do all these Jerrys that are like all knowing beings of the universe just not know that this guy's clearly not Dr. whatever his name was.
Yeah.
The Dr.
Dr. Van Nussbaum.
Yeah, whatever his name was. I'm just like, that's not him. Wouldn't these all beings know it? It was just a little bothersome, and it made me like be like, what the heck? And also, I guess my other nitpick would be, why didn't he just go into the body? Weren't you guys thinking, not a nitpick, my one part of the movie where I was like, what's going to happen here? I thought like him and Tina Fey were both going to be in his body, and I thought it was going to be a really bad movie from there on out.
You thought that's how it was going to end? Or you thought when they both fell in and instead of falling into the cat, they were both going to go
exactly.
in? Okay.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking this shit's going to get really bad.
I wasn't expecting a body swap at all. Like when I told you that I saw the teaser trailer like in theaters a long time ago, I would never in a million years think this would be a body swap movie, and it caught me off guard and almost like I don't know, it was like a pleasant surprise, you know. But I like your nitpicks of the movie, and like I just said that I had no problems with it. I couldn't think of something I didn't like about it. I can agree with those. I think those are legitimate. Not gripes, but I think those are legitimate nitpicks.
Just like
of
little
the
things
movie.
that, like
little things. Like
it would have been weird if they somehow did fix it, because then how does the movie happen? But it's just not like, other than that, it's like I'd probably have to watch
glaring
this.
Flaws. Do you have any glaring flaws with it?
No,
I don't think there are any glaring.
No,
flaws
because
with
like
it.
the animation style is super cool. Like I love the Great Before. Is that what they call it, Jeremy? You're calling it the Soul World? I think they call it the Great Before.
Well, there's the Great Before and the Great Beyond, which they open that portal to, and it hums every time, and it made me laugh every single time they do it.
And I love I just love the idea of the Great Before, because like we always talk about like the afterlife and shit like that, but we never really truly think about like what were we before all this. And so the idea of the Great Before, I just thought was like a great idea for like a kids movie, and I thought they did it really good. And I liked even how they had subtle jokes like, oh, you guys will be egotistical, you'll be a narcissist or whatever.
Them in there, all the negative like personality traits.
Exactly, and I thought that was funny. And like 12 of you will be anxious all the time, and it's just like, oh shit, yeah, that's how it is. But I don't know. I really liked that aspect.
That was the stuff for adults. I feel like though, you know, like
for sure. And the animation side was for the kids, and that's why I can't even come up with too many nitpicks, because like the places where I would be looking for them, like I think they executed well.
Well, I'll give you mine, and it's not a glaring problem with the movie by any means, but might fall into the category of nitpick as well. As I thought they played a little fast and loose with the rules they tried to set up for the Great Beyond and the Great Before, because I mean the beginning of the movie, Joe Gardner has an accident, right, and he dies, which of course classic Pixar, right? And then
someone's got to die in the first 5 minutes of every Pixar movie.
Yeah, exactly. He's on this moving sidewalk going to what seems to be like the afterlife, right? Like he's about 30 seconds away from being no more. And he is not okay with that, so he starts running the other way, and he's passing hundreds and hundreds of other people who died. So first of all, I'm like, all right, is the implication that everyone else who died in that moment
is okay with it,
is perfectly fine with it? And I'm imagining, like, if I had a young child, like, and they start asking me questions about this, like, that I feel like that would lead to some uncomfortable conversations about why this guy's the only one who gets to defy death and fall into the great before and stuff like that. But I don't know, it seemed a little loose as far as how freely he was able to travel from the great beyond to the great before, back to Earth, back to the great before, into that kind of like transcendental state that Moonwind was able to get to.
Yeah, Moonwind was my other big gripe, that he just somehow knows there's an afterlife just because he meditates. That was tough.
I thought that was cool. I think that was a pure comedy
cool.
aspect. And if you really think about it, it's really dumb. It doesn't make any sense. But like, he was funny. He made me laugh. So I gave it a pass.
Yeah, and like I said, it didn't ruin the movie for me at all, but I was trying to understand the fact that they were able to so freely travel between what were supposedly these, different areas that had very specific ways of getting between them. It seemed like for most purposes, Joe and 22 were able to just kind of travel freely between all of them, but they were the only people who could do it.
Just had to get in the zone. That's all you had to do.
That's true. That's all it takes. The last point I wanted to bring up, mostly directed at you, Ben. Did you make any comparisons from Soul to La La Land, another movie we reviewed a couple months ago?
I'm glad you brought that up, because one of my final notes that I had is, this is what I wrote in my notes. It's funny how I've seen more movies about jazz than the amount of jazz songs that I know. Because this and La La Land, I know two. Because it's not a jazz movie, I suppose, but jazz is the second major theme, I would say, of this movie.
If you like jazz, you're gonna really like this movie.
It's a big element,
honestly,
for sure.
It's like it made me think about La La Land. I'm like, Joe Gardner is basically Sebastian, aka Ryan Gosling from La La Land, and I did draw comparisons. I still like La La Land more than this movie. Shocker, but no, it's a good question, Jared, because they are similar in that aspect, how much they love jazz. I just think La La Land will just always hold a different place in my heart.
The reason I wanted to bring it up, obviously, on top of being about jazz and the main character's pursuit of jazz, I thought that the themes that they portrayed, at least as I understood them, I'm not sure that we entirely saw eye to eye on the themes of La La Land, but the way I perceived the two movies watching them was that La La Land's main theme was you should pursue your goals at all costs, and Soul is basically the reverse side of that, where it's like your self-prescribed purpose in life shouldn't prevent you from living.
Yeah, that's interesting, because in La La Land, spoiler, when they don't end up together, it's like they proving like follow your career and follow your true loves, and life will work itself out. Whereas this one is like he follows his true love of jazz the whole time, and then at the end he's like it wasn't worth it. But that makes me almost think, like, in La La Land, we did disagree. Like, in the end, I think almost Ryan Gosling, I think they both kind of regret it a little, and I think they wish they would have chosen each other. But in this, so it makes me think in this one, maybe he made the right decision, because he did not go with jazz in the end.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's so complex for a kids movie. If you really think about it, like, I mean, we're talking about it right now, like the different themes and the different ways you can interpret like his feelings in the movie. It's just, I think that speaks to Pixar and the way they make their movies. And that, I mean, we've mentioned it earlier, that like a little kid will watch this movie and enjoy it for the funny jokes and the little cartoon soul characters bouncing around and doing this and that, and the cat meowing and the body swap humor. They'll think that's funny, right? But then here we are as mid-20-year-olds talking about the deeper themes of this movie and what it means to like have an existential crisis, and what are you really put on this earth to do. And I just think that is the genius of Pixar movies. And I'm a guy that probably misses most Pixar movies. I mean, I see the big ones, and I don't think this was a big one. I think this may have been a big one if it came out in theaters, but it didn't. And this is one that's going to get swept under the rug and not a lot of people are going to know about. And I think that's a goddamn shame because it's a really, really good movie.
I think a lot of people saw it.
Is that true? Do we have any kind of demographics?
I don't have the
couldn't tell you
numbers,
either
but
way.
I think a lot of people saw this movie.
I'm thinking a lot of people saw it just because it came out and it's free right away and it was on Christmas. And I'm curious to more so, like not to know like the total numbers. I'm just assuming this do better than Wonder Woman 1984 that came out on the same day. Okay, because we did that movie and we obviously regretted it, and I regret it now because this movie's just. It's so much more than that movie ever tried to be.
HBO Max is only released in America so far, so they've got a much smaller audience, built-in user base or whatever. So maybe not entirely a fair comparison, but yes, Soul did do better than Wonder Woman.
Fuck you, Bob.
Deservingly so.
So yeah, fuck me. Sorry.
I basically brought up everything that I wanted to. Do you guys have any kind of closing thoughts or anything else that we didn't get to?
I mean,
I just wanted to add for like if we wanted to just do Pixar movies right now, quick top 5 off your head, if you could do it, would this make your list?
I don't think so. I was actually looking at the list of Pixar films earlier, and there's like a 10-year gap of movies that I didn't see in theaters, and most of them I still haven't gone back and seen. But I think I've got too much nostalgia baked in for a lot of the ones that came out in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Damn, dude, that's hard to say. I feel like, I feel like I like this movie more than like a Finding Nemo, and Finding Nemo is like a movie that I mention all the time. I feel like Toy Story and Toy Story 2 like are on like the upper echelon of Pixar movies. But fuck, dude, I feel like Soul. I think I like Soul more than Finding Nemo. I won't be able to rank the rest of mine. But I'll just leave it at that. That I think Soul is probably cracks my top 5, maybe even my top 3.
We'd probably have to do like a whole different episode or just like a segment of an episode where we talk about this. Just thinking about it, like for some reason this compares to me with like Up, because but it's like the way better version of Up, because Up's like first 15 minutes are like
I think
impeccable.
I like this more than Up. I think I like this more than Up.
Yeah, because that movie's like impeccable for the first 15 minutes, and then it just takes you on this ride. And then whereas like Soul, you're kind of on this weird ride too, but I'm more invested in the ride that Soul takes me on than Up. Like the journey it takes you on, even if it's going back and in between two different worlds and possibly even 3. Like, I don't know. I get a lot more out of this than I do a movie like Up, which is probably... I don't know. I just find a similarity.
I think this movie is deeper. Deeper themes, deeper story, deeper characters. I just feel like, I definitely like Soul more than Up.
It's between Soul and Cars 2 for me personally, for my favorite movie of Pixar.
All right. Any closing thoughts from you, Bob, here?
I mean, I feel like I've said it. If you have a Disney Plus login, whether it be yours or somebody you know, and you somehow have not seen this movie yet, or you're even mildly intrigued, check it out, watch it, form your own opinion. But I couldn't recommend this movie. Oh man, if I have to think about it, out of all the movies we watch on this podcast, in terms of movies that I would recommend for anybody to watch, this might be number 1 out of any movie we've done on the podcast. Honestly, I feel like this movie is for almost anybody and everybody. I just watch it. I'm not saying it's my favorite movie of all time. I'm just saying I just think it's a good movie, and I think almost anybody will enjoy it.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, it's definitely not like my favorite movie that we've done, but it feels like the widest ranging audience for this movie, and like, yeah, I would totally recommend this to anyone. And if you've listened to us spoil it, we didn't even spoil it too much. Like,
no, not
even
really.
If you listen to it, you can still get a lot out of this movie. And I'm excited to actually maybe not watch this again, like in the next couple months, but when I do sit down and watch it again in like a year or two, like it's a movie I will thoroughly enjoy again. And I'm glad that we decided to pick this movie for the podcast, because I don't know if I would have ended up watching it anytime soon.
All right, I think that'll do it for our review of Soul, and that'll do it for this episode of the podcast. Next week, we are going to be watching the Netflix original Outside the Wire, which, if you're listening to this episode the week it comes out this Friday, January 15th on Netflix. So if you want to be prepared for next week's review, go ahead and watch that next weekend.
Yeah, and go ahead and watch Mulan.
If you want to be double prepared, set up a
So
little
you can
double
hear
feature.
Ben's beautiful review of Mulan.
Because I lost fair and square, and that's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Clean as a whistle.
All right. In the meantime, thank you for listening, and remember, your spark is not your purpose. We'll see you next week.